Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We will present our discussion about sulfacetamide eye drop. Our team consists of Ilya Marsha Rohila, Isnawanti, Natasha Harnelia, and Novanda Sabrina Maren. The content is first, formulation, second is monograph, third is production process, and the last is production evaluation. The next is formulation. The formulation is first sodium sulfacetamide, and the formula is 10%. And then sodium thiosulfate, the formula is 0.1%. And then edited disodium, and the formula is 0.05%. And then thimerosal, the formula is 0.01%. And then phosphate buffer, the formula is pH 7. And the last is water for injection. The formula is QS until 100 milliliters.
The next is monograph. The first is monograph of active ingredients. Our active ingredients is sulfacetamide sodium. The description is crystalline powder, white, odorless, sour taste. The solubility is likely soluble in water and in ether, easily soluble in dilute mineral acid, in potassium hydroxide solution, and in sodium hydroxide solution, soluble in ethanol, very poorly soluble in chloroform, and practically insoluble in benzene. The stability is stable under normal condition, and it's incompatible with strong oxidizing agent excipients, and the storage is in a well-closed opaque container. Next. The next is monograph of excipients. The first one is sodium thiosulfate. The description is large hablur, colorless hablur, or coarse hablur powder, shiny in moist air and blooming in dry air at temperature over 33 degrees Celsius. Neutral solution or base is weak against litmus. The stability is hygroscopic, and the solubility is very easily soluble in water and insoluble in ethanol. It is incompatible with excipient, intravenous calcium salt, incompatible with bronopol, penyl mercuric acetate, and penyl mercuric nitrate. And the last one, the storage is in a tightly sealed container.
The next excipient is edited disodium. It is white crystalline, odorless powder with a slightly acidic taste. Edited salts are more stable than acetic acid. However, disodium edited dihydrate loses water of crystallization when heated to 120 degrees Celsius. Disodium editate is hygroscopic and is unstable when exposed to moisture. Edited disodium practically insoluble in chloroform and ether, slightly soluble in ethanol 95%, and soluble 1 part in 11 part of water. It is incompatible with strong oxidizing agents, strong bases, metal ions, and metal alloys. Stored in a well-closed container in a cool, dry place. Next excipient, it is thimerosal. It is light cream-colored crystalline powder with a slight characteristic odor. It is incompatible with aluminium and other metals, strong oxidizing agents, strong acids and bases, sodium chloride solutions, lecithin, phenyl mercury compounds, quaternary ammonium compounds, thioglycolate, and proteins. It is soluble 1 in 8 of ethanol 95%, 1 in 1 of water, practically insoluble in benzene and ether. Thimerosal stable at normal temperatures and pressures. Exposure to light may cause discoloration. The solid material should be stored in a well-closed container, protected from light in a cool, dry place. For phosphate buffer, it is a white powder, miscible with water, stable under normal conditions, compatible with strong bases and strong acids, stored in a closed container when not in use. For water, it is clear liquid, colorless and odorless, soluble in acetic acid, in acetone, in ammonia, in ammonium chloride, in ethanol, in glycerol, in hydrochloric acid, in methanol, in nitric acid, in sulfuric acid, in sodium hydroxide solution, and in propylene glycol. Water is stable under normal conditions, incompatible with metallic sodium, and if packaged, use a non-reactive container packaging designed to prevent microbial entry.
The next is product process. So first, weight all raw materials, and then dissolve and mix all the ingredients into a 150 ml beaker glass. After that, add water to the mug and filter with filter paper, and then determine the initial pH of the preparation, and then take the solution using a syringe and insert it into brown vials of 10 ml each. And then the last is sterilization with bacteria filter method. The next is product evaluation. The first is physical and organoleptic examination and pH test. The color, particle presence, and clarity of the eye drop solutions were all visually assessed in bright light. Several drops of the solutions were placed on red and blue litmus paper to determine the pH of the eye drops. And the second step is evaluation of microbiological quality of eye drops. With sterile distilled water, each freshly opened eye drop of 1 ml was serially diluted to 1,000, 10,000, and 100,000 to determine the colony forming units. In the original eye drop, each dilution of 1 ml and each eye drop of 1 ml were subcultured in duplicate or nutrient agar and suborauth dextrose agar and incubated for 48 hours at 37 degrees Celsius for bacteria and 3 days at 25 degrees Celsius for fungi. The third step is investigation of contamination by the air. The eye drop's capacity to tolerate contamination after being exposed to air for a set amount of time was tested. By placing eye drops on the laboratory's open shelves, they were open and exposed to the air at 0, 2, 4, 8, 24, 48, and 72 hours. Samples were obtained, followed by 7, 14, 28, and 56 days. 0.5 ml of each solution was grown in 10 ml of thioglycolate broth. The broth was analyzed for bacterial growth after a 24-hour incubation period at 37 degrees Celsius. After that, each broth was subcultured on blood agar plates and incubated at 37 degrees Celsius overnight. After 7 days, all thioglycolate broth cultures were evaluated. The thioglycolate broth not only served as an enrichment medium for Pseudomonas, sporing, and non-sporing anaerobes, but it also served to diminish any antibacterial effects of the preservative in the eye drops bottles. The blood agar plates were included to enable the
cultivation of a wide range of organisms. Incubation, the colonies were counted. Okay, that's all from our group. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.